The tree from Finland, dinner from Michelin. I wanted the perfect Christmas. My gift for Dad, a $12,000 watch. He handed it to my sister's husband in front of me. He's the son I never had, Dad said. I smiled, then unwrapped the final gift. Theirs. And then he gave back the watch, the house, and the car. Still, it wasn't enough. Don't look so surprised, Dad said, holding the box like it was nothing. Then he handed it to Mark, my sister's husband, and added with that smug little laugh he always saved for my humiliation. He's the son I never had. I didn't say a word, just smiled like my stomach wasn't turning inside out. The watch, the $12,000 I had spent months researching, choosing, paying off in pieces like I was financing love, glinted in Mark's hand like it knew where it truly belonged. It was supposed to be my gift, my olive branch, my Christmas redemption arc. Instead, it became a prop in their little family theater. Mark, bless his clueless heart, actually tried to give it back. No, Jack picked it out, he said awkwardly. It's incredible. But Dad cut him off with a wave. You deserve it, kid. You've been here for us. He didn't even look at me. There it was. No mistaking it. The final act of a season-long performance I didn't know I was auditioning for. This wasn't just about the watch. This was about the tree flown in from Finland, the Michelin-catered dinner, the rare wine I'd imported because Mom once mentioned she liked the label. It was about how I tried to give them the kind of holiday no one forgets, and how they decided I wasn't even worth a thank you. You look tense, Jack, Mom said sweetly, her voice sugared like a Christmas cookie. You should learn to relax like Mark. He knows family is about giving, not expecting anything in return. I almost laughed, because she didn't see it. None of them did. Not the pressure behind my smile, or the bitterness behind the bow I tied around every single gift under that overpriced tree. So I just nodded and reached for the last wrapped box under the tree. It wasn't from me. It was from them. Labeled in crooked cursive, to Jack, from all of us. My hands didn't shake, not even as I peeled the paper off with surgeon-level precision. Inside was a sweater, size too small, tag still on, marked down 70% from a clearance bin. No receipt. I folded it slowly and looked up. That's when I realized something that would change everything. They hadn't just forgotten who I was. They decided I was disposable. And this time, I wasn't going to play along. You want to know what the worst part was? It wasn't the watch. Wasn't even Dad calling Mark the son I never had, while I sat there like the invisible man at my own Christmas dinner. It was that I expected it. Because this wasn't new. This was the final act of a show that had been running my whole life. I'd been financing their version of family for years. Rent when they were short. Emma's honeymoon when her husband, the previous one, backed out of the trip 2 days before the wedding. Mom's new kitchen after she accidentally started a fire with her broken toaster. Dad's back taxes, which he didn't understand because the government changed the rules. Always some excuse. Always some need. Always me with the solution and them with the amnesia. And every time, I told myself it was love. That if I gave enough, fixed enough, paid enough, I'd finally be seen. Turns out I was right about the paid part. They saw me. As a wallet. A backup plan. The insurance policy they didn't have to renew. And you know what's wild? I played along. For years. Every missed promotion because I took time off to help with Dad's business. Every late payment on my own rent because Mom's surgery wasn't fully covered. Every time Emma cried on the phone about her card being declined, and I wired her $500 before even asking why. It didn't matter how much I gave. It only mattered that I kept giving. Because in our family, love was measured in sacrifice. And mine had to be invisible. I remember the first time I noticed it. Really noticed. Last year, Emma posted a birthday tribute to Dad. Old photos, long caption, the works. I wasn't in a single picture. Not even the one from that ski trip I paid for. When I brought it up, she laughed. Oh, don't be dramatic. It's not about you. Right. It never is. After the Christmas dinner, I went home and opened a spreadsheet. Every transfer, every Venmo, every Zelle, every emergency cash request. 6 years. $134,287. That didn't even include the gifts. The house. Mine. They just lived in it. The car Mom drove. My name on the title. The cruise Emma went on last spring while I ate ramen 3 nights a week. Courtesy of my points, which I'd been saving for something special. I had receipts. All of them. I didn't even need to dig. I kept it organized, just in case. And something in me clicked. I wasn't the helper. I realized I was stuck in a role I didn't choose. The final straw came a week later. A family Facebook post, of course it was Facebook, with a picture of Dad and Mark at a golf course in Arizona. Caption: so grateful for this man. True family, loyalty, strength, honor. I wasn't tagged, but I was the one who paid for the flights. They used my miles. That same night, my sister sent me a message. Hey, can you send $350? Mark's birthday is next week, and I'm planning something cute. Please don't make it weird. Don't make it weird. Like being robbed blind quietly was the polite thing to do. I didn't respond. I opened another file. This one wasn't a spreadsheet. It was a folder labeled Proof. Screenshots. Bank transfers. Text messages with timestamps. And something new, something I'd forgotten about until that moment. A backup hard drive from my old laptop. The one I used when I helped Dad with his tax planning for years ago. That drive had PDFs he asked me to clean up. Questionable numbers. Strange-looking reports. A document submitted with my name on it, one I never approved. I had no idea he'd kept it, but I had it now. The next day, I tested something. I texted Emma, sorry, can't help this time. Type month. No response. No, okay. No, thanks anyway. No follow-up. Just silence. 12 hours later, Mom called, first time since Christmas. Sweetheart, she said, voice sugar slick and fake. Emma said you're struggling. Do you need anything? I laughed. Couldn't help it. I'm good, Mom. Just can't cover Mark's birthday bash this year. The silence on the other end was surgical. She didn't even deny it. Just said, well, maybe next time. Then she hung up. And I knew. I wasn't family. I was funding. But the real twist was what came next. A letter. From a credit union I'd never banked with. Overdue balance, $11,432. I stared at it for a long time. Then checked the cosigner field. Jack T. SSN ending in 4937. My SSN. He'd used me. Again. Another loan. Another lie. I called the bank, explained the fraud, started the process. They froze the account immediately. Then I made a second call. To a lawyer I used to date. She owed me a favor. I sent her every document. She said, you ready to burn this down? I said, I already lit the match. The invitation came through our family group chat. A dinner, just for us, Mom said. We want to reconnect, reset things. No drama. The text came with a heart emoji. That was the giveaway. My mother doesn't use emojis, which meant Emma wrote it. I replied, sounds great. I'll bring dessert. But I was bringing a lot more than dessert. They booked a fancy little bistro on the edge of town, rustic decor, overpriced wine, the kind of place Dad would normally scoff at until someone else was paying. I arrived last as planned. They were already seated, Dad at the head, like he always insisted. Emma and Mark on one side, Mom on the other. 3 wine glasses already half empty. Nervous smiles. Jack, Mom said. You look so different. I finished, taking the empty seat. No, she lied. Good. Just good. The waiter brought bread. Nobody touched it. We made small talk. Too small. No one mentioned Christmas. Or the watch. Emma showed me pictures of a vacation to Capri, the one she told me she couldn't afford. You paid for that one too, she said casually, not even as a thank you. Just a reminder. I smiled. Waited. Then reached into my bag and pulled out the envelope. Thick. Sealed. Labeled for everyone. I slid it to the middle of the table. What's this? Dad asked, already suspicious. A gift, I said. From me. Since we're all in such a giving mood. He opened it like he expected a joke. He got a stack of documents. Printouts. Bank transfers. Loan documents with his forged signature next to mine. A notarized letter from the bank about the fraudulent co-signing. Tax filings where his firm was falsely listed as eligible for government benefits. The kicker? A document he claimed was proof of military service, but it was blank. No records anywhere. Turns out the story was made up. The room went silent. What is this? Emma snapped, grabbing a paper. Proof, I said calmly, of who you all really are when you think no one's watching. Mark looked confused. Poor guy was just trying to chew a breadstick. But Dad? He went white. Then red. You think you're clever, don't you? Careful, I said. This place has cameras. And ears. Mom reached for the papers like she could physically undo them. This is a misunderstanding. No, I said, louder now. It's years of being lied to, used, and erased. And I'm done playing your charity bank. Emma stood up. You think you're better than us? Because you saved some screenshots? Because you tracked our spending? I laughed. Not because it was funny. Because it was pathetic. You spent my money on designer bags and spa retreats while telling people I was too emotionally unstable to be around. You had your friends believe I was in therapy. You told Mark I went to rehab. Mark blinked. You what? I turned to him. She said I had a pill problem. That I caused an accident because I wasn't thinking straight. He turned to Emma. You said, doesn't matter. I cut in. You'll hear the same story next. After you're gone. That's when the door opened. And he walked in. My grandfather. Dad's father. Tall. Cold. Sharp as winter air. He hadn't spoken to any of them in 5 years. He walked to the table, looked directly at Dad, and said, You always thought you could lie your way into respect. Turns out you just lied your way into dependency. Then he turned to me. You ready? I stood up. You brought him. Mom hissed. No, I said. He brought me. I reached into my jacket and handed Dad a second envelope. It was from the Veterans Association. His case had been flagged for review. Turns out misrepresenting official status can have real consequences. Emma dropped her wine glass. Mom looked like she might faint. But Dad? He stood up, furious, shaking. You think this makes you a hero? You destroyed your family. No, I said. You did that. I just turned on the lights. We walked out of the restaurant. Me, my grandfather, and silence behind us. No one followed. Not this time. I didn't go home that night. Because that wasn't home. I drove 3 hours north, past the city limits, past every place that ever meant anything to them, and meant nothing to me, until I reached a quiet lakeside town with more trees than traffic lights. I had the keys in my pocket before Christmas even started. A property I bought under a business name I registered 2 years ago, when I first suspected this family might someday try to burn me down. Now I was already moved in. No social media announcement. No fresh start post. Just peace. The first morning, I made coffee with beans I ground myself. No noise. No passive-aggressive texts. No guilt-ridden voicemails. Only the sound of geese flying south and the faint hum of winter settling in. By the end of the week, I had an office. Nothing fancy. Just a space above a garage with enough room for a desk, a whiteboard, and ambition. Because I didn't just disappear. I built something. A boutique logistics consultancy. The kind of thing I used to help Dad dream about when he claimed he wanted to go legit. Except I actually did it. 2 ex-clients from my old firm followed me without hesitation. 3 new contracts landed in my inbox before I even launched the website. But the wildest part? The watch. That $12,000 watch. It came back. Not from them. Never from them. It came from Mark. He sent it via courier with a handwritten note. Not an apology, not exactly. Just, didn't feel right keeping this. You're the one who earned it. I kept the note. Not the watch. I sold it the next day. Used the money to furnish the new office. Bought myself a suit that actually fit. Then sent a delivery to an address in the city. A plush leather chair engraved on the back. To the son you never had. Enjoy. I didn't sign it. Didn't need to. That's when the first drop hit. A mutual friend texted. Your mom's at the pharmacy asking if they can split her blood pressure meds. Said the card's maxed. A week later, a cousin emailed. Hey, just wondering, did you mean to take your name off the family phone plan? It got shut off. I never replied. Then Emma tried calling me. Twice. I watched the screen light up with her name, Emma Mobile 2.0, because she had burned the first SIM in a tantrum a year ago. She left a voicemail. I didn't listen. But it wasn't until February that the knock came. I was in the new office, laptop open, quarterly invoices sorted, my assistant prepping a brand guide for our first rebrand contract, when the front desk buzzed. I have a Mr. Thompson here, she said. Says he's your father? I didn't respond right away. I just looked through the frosted glass. Saw the outline of him. Coat too big, posture hunched, but still stubborn. I stepped out. We locked eyes for the first time in months. He didn't say hello. Didn't ask how I'd been. Just said, I didn't come for a fight. Just thought maybe we could talk. I tilted my head. About what? He looked around. Nice place. You always wanted to do something like this. I didn't say a word. Then he tried it. Look, your mother. She's not doing great. Things are hard. Oh, there it was. The crack in the mask. I smiled. A small, surgical smile. I'm sorry to hear that, I said. But this isn't a support center. He flinched. We're still family, he muttered. No, I said, voice quiet but solid. You're a story I outgrew. He stepped forward. Jack, don't do this. We raised you. No, I said again. You leaned on me too much, and I needed to step back and focus on my own life. He stood there for a second longer, as if expecting something to change. Nothing did. So he turned, walked back to his car, and drove away. I watched until he disappeared down the hill. 2 days later, Emma tried again. This time in person. She came by the shop, not the office, the little side garage I kept for rebuilding old motorcycles, something I did now just for joy. She stood in the doorway like a stranger. No makeup. No tricks. Just a tired woman clutching her purse like it was the last thing holding her together. I'm not here to argue, she said. I didn't know how bad it was going to get. I wiped my hands. Looked at her. You mean without me? She nodded. I lost my job. Mark left. Dad's trying to sue the government for something he definitely forged. Mom's talking about selling the house. I raised an eyebrow. The house I bought. Yeah, she said. That one. Silence. Then she said something I didn't expect. I read the papers. The ones you gave at the restaurant. I didn't believe it all at first. And now? She swallowed. Now I think I was just the next in line. After you. I nodded. That's what happens when you protect people who only see you as a tool. She looked at the ground. I'm sorry. I didn't say anything. She waited. Then added, I'm not asking you to come back. Just, can you tell me how to start over? That, I didn't expect. I didn't hug her. Didn't cry. But I handed her a name. A therapist. Someone who helped me unravel the script they wrote for me. Start there, I said. And don't call me unless it's not about money. She nodded. And left. That night, I sat on my porch with a drink in hand. Looked out at the lake. No messages. No calls. No fire to put out that wasn't mine. For the first time in my life, my phone was just a phone, not a leash. And silence? Silence tasted like freedom. I saw them one last time. Not in person. On paper. A letter from their lawyer, well, someone claiming to be their lawyer, landed in my new office mailbox. It wasn't even on proper letterhead. Just a stapled threat, printed in Comic Sans, saying I owed emotional restitution for the damage I'd caused. The line that really got me? This rift is harming the legacy of our family. You should reconsider your behavior before you permanently divide us. I read it once. Then again. Then laughed. Because the legacy was already mine. A week later, I made one final move. The shop, my consultancy, my motorcycle garage, my actual home now was expanding. I bought the building next door. The old bakery that shut down during the pandemic. Repainted the walls, redid the flooring, cleaned it top to bottom. And then, I had a sign made. A big one. Simple, bold, and right above the glass door. No family discounts. Underneath, in smaller letters. If you're here to manipulate, guilt trip, or ask for money, keep driving. It went semi-viral. Locals loved it. Tourists took selfies with it. A reporter from a small business magazine called it the most honest storefront in America. My mother saw it. I know because someone tagged her in a Facebook post that reached 10,000 shares. She didn't comment. But Emma did. 3 words. Fair enough, Jack. Sometimes I still think about Christmas. About that perfect tree I ordered from Finland. The wine. The gifts. The absurd effort to build something that looked like love. What a joke. But a necessary one. Because you can't heal until you see the wound. And mine? It wore a Santa hat and smiled through its teeth. No? I've got real friends. Real clients. Real mornings where I don't wake up with my chest tight and my phone buzzing with need. And Dad? Last I heard, he tried to start a GoFundMe after the IRS froze his accounts. It raised $37. Probably from bots. I didn't donate. Emma's rebuilding. Slowly. Quietly. She texts sometimes. I reply when I feel like it. Mom sends cards. They go straight to a drawer I don't open. The watch? The one Mark returned? I had it melted down. Turned it into a custom metal plate. Polished. Etched. Mounted above the desk in my private office. It says, time spent on people who never earned it. I look at it sometimes. Not with anger. Just awareness. A reminder that love isn't currency. And loyalty isn't a loan. So, am I happy now? Yeah. But not the fireworks happy. Not the revenge movie ending. I'm quietly free. And that, after a lifetime of debt dressed as devotion, is the loudest joy I've ever known.